First part to changing your oil is knowing when to change it. So whether you use one of these factory books that tells you, like you keep a schedule and tells you exactly when to change the oil in the filter, or you keep a log yourself on your computer, I highly recommend you keep track of it somehow. Get some reminders so you know how to change it. I do mine every 4,000 miles and I keep a note on my computer. So that being said, the other way is to obviously check with the engine oil dipstick. So what you want to do is pull it out and wipe it clean with a rag first, because if the engine was on and bouncing around, it'll splash up oil and give you improper readings for how much oil you have. So then you pull it back out, and as you can see, my oil's pretty dirty, but it's at a good level. So I know though that I've been over 4,000 miles, so I'm going to change mine. So the next part is knowing what kind of oil and how much. So for here, I recommend, obviously you can just use Google, but if you have your factory manual, go to the back, go to the index, look for oil, fluid, capacities. So capacities, fluid, 315, and it tells me right here, engine oil with filter. So I have the 4-liter engine, so it holds 6 quarts, and it takes SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, 10W30. So what you're basically going to do is go to the store. You have 2 choices here when you're getting your oil of 10W30. You can get synthetic oil or dino oil. So dino oil is short for dinosaur, which means, you know, it was harvested straight from the earth as a natural resource. Synthetic oil was made somewhat in a lab. Synthetic oils are pretty much better in every way. They'll last longer. You won't have to change it out as much, won't get as dirty. Better for your engine. The only problem is they're more expensive. Dino oil is just cheaper, you know. So it's a matter of personal preference. Personally, I use Mobil 1 synthetic oil, but yeah. And so now we're going to head to the store. We're going to make sure that we have the new oil, a new filter. The other thing is your oil filter. You can see mine's right here. So I've put mine on last, so I know it's only hand tight, but some of you might need a strap wrench, or there's a certain kind of socket for your oil filter. I can show you an example of one, but so you might want to look at your oil filter first and think that through while you're going to the store. One other part is if you're not sure what oil filter to get, usually the auto parts store will have a book that you can just look up your make and model and it'll tell you right there, or you can just ask the clerk at the store and he'll let you know. You can see now I'm under the car looking at the oil pan. I already got my, drain right here ready to catch it. So one thing you want to make sure is you let the engine cool off first, so you're not going to get burned with all this hot oil. So once that's done, this is a 5/8 drain plug bolt. We're going to release it slowly. There we go. It's going to start coming out pretty quick once it does. So when you're putting this drain plug back in, it's tightened to 25 foot-pounds as the specifications. I don't exactly measure it out, but just do it pretty tight, so that about hand tight with this regular small ratchet. Position the drain pan underneath the oil filter. We're going to go ahead and remove the original oil filter. And it's going to spill. Oh, mine's not that. Didn't have it lined up right. Let's try again. Not very much. Be careful, the oil filter is going to have a bunch of oil in it, so you don't spill it all on yourself. And let that drain out. And as you can see, I already put in the old drain plug, and now I'm going to put in the new oil filter. So what I usually do is, you can see there's this rubber O-ring seal around it. So what you want to do is take some of the old oil and lubricate that seal so it gets a nice tight fitting on the engine, and you don't strip any of that rubber while you're putting it in. So take some of the old oil and lubricate. And back in, and again, I really don't put it much more than hand tight. Then you're gonna unscrew this right at the top of the head. We're gonna put a funnel, pour in the new oil, and we'll be good to go. See how golden that new oil is compared to the old one that I just removed. Just a few final important notes. When you're all done, you're gonna wanna check your dipstick, make sure that the oil level actually is still good. Also, when you first turn on your engine after doing an oil change, your oil pressure is going to be low. There's going to be no oil in the system, so don't just gun it right away. And lastly, you can use the old, or really the bottles that the new oil came in, so those right there, put the old oil in that and bring it back to the auto parts store, and they'll environmentally safely dispose of it for you for free, of course. So that's the benefit. I'm just going to pour what I got in there right into these and take it back to the store, and that's it.